basically what we wanted to say about the products, and everything else you can find on the ACMAD website and also the FCC ACMAD website. So thank you. Thank you. Now we're going to move to Casablanca. Mr. Haddouch, you have the floor. The presentation is GISC Casablanca. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yes, we hear you very well. All right, so thank you. This is a great pleasure for me to be here today with you to talk about sharing data and quality control. So I'm going to present the GISC in Casablanca and the WRC, or the RWC rather, as well. So I will start from here. So first, the production chain at our center. Then I will present our capacities. And following that, I will present the information system. So the GISC Casablanca, and I will finish on a note on the regional center. Next slide, please. So what you see here is the production line at our center. So we start with, of course, weather observation, so any type of observation. So from our synoptic stations, from our airplanes, etc. So we process these observations first, and we put in place a certain number of bulletins destined to websites or, to various stakeholders. Next slide. Now, regarding capacities for our observation systems, we have 744 employees total. That means about 80 technicians, as you see here, or agents rather, and over 400 technicians. This is our observation network. We have 44 synoptic stations. We have 7 meteorological radars, 4 radio stations, 4 automatic, or 156 automatic stations, and 2 sea radars that are, and 2 more actually are being deployed. So now for computing, we started in 1995 with 1.2 billion operations per second. And now we've moved to over 8,000 billion per second. And we are working on upgrading so to 1 million billion operations per second. These are the digital models. We use 4 main models. The first one here covers most of Africa. These are products that are ready to be used for all our African colleagues. Now they are at a range of 4 kilometers, and they will move to 10 kilometers soon. And we're going to have more range over Morocco. So we're going to have improvements. We also have the marine model. And yeah, I won't say a whole lot more on that. So moving on to information systems. So this is an integrated approach that we use for the whole production line that starts with collection, then processing, production, and information. Our strategy in Casablanca is for all these information systems to be locally casted, to be adapted to end users' needs, and to see the needs of the users, to really focus on that. So we have various systems, web systems here. So we have internet, intranet, extranet, prodmet, and aeromet, etc. So these are all web-based systems, and then the user doesn't have to install anything. They only need to be connected to the web to access all this wealth of information. Next slide. So here we have the extranet system. So in this case, we have access to the model data. This is a dynamic map, and we have all the information needed here for the averages and how things are moving along. Next slide. Over here, we have the AeroWeb system. This is a web-based, of course, system, which has all the information about air and wind. So we are looking here, let's say, at the wind shear. We have also wind barbs. So all the information there related to the wind. Next slide. Here, telecommunications channels. We have nationally a VPN network. It is based on a virtual private network, VPN, which allows everybody to be connected with everybody else. So we can have people exchange with and from the hub. And we also have on the international level the RMDCN, as you can see on this graph. So next slide. A word on the WIS system. As you know, the telecommunication system is there for collecting and exchanging meteorological data. This system has some limitations. We have a point-to-point exchange, and we have difficulty integrating new centers and new archives. That is one of the limitations. The second one is that we cannot raise traffic with the number and volume of data points that we have. So we cannot exchange radar and satellite data. And this is why at WMO, at our Congress in 2003, we wanted to refurbish the system to respond to these needs. So we called it WIS. It is made up of 3 components: the national centers, the data collection or production centers, and the global information system centers. Next slide. So over here, the global information system, the role is to collect global data from national centers and from data collection and production centers, and to disseminate them in their given zone. We want to exchange among ourselves and in real time essential and additional data. We also want to archive data and make them available for 24 hours out of 24 with a request response model. We also want to maintain and sync a catalog of global products. And of course, we want to have a portal for accessing and providing data. So now, regarding the data collection and production centers, They collect in their zone of jurisdiction the information destined to be broadcasted. They also produce regional data or specific data. They also give to the global network their global data. They have the responsibility to archive their own data and make them available via a request response mechanism. And we want to maintain the catalog of their own products and share them in whole or partly with their global center. There are 15 GISC centers. So you see here in Africa, there are 2, one in Pretoria and one in Casablanca. You have the web link at the bottom of the slide. Next slide, please. So now, for the GISC in Casablanca, we've connected with 2 different means. One is called machine to machine. This is based on an IP address. So this is for centers that have a certain system. So a national center can use this type, and for other countries who do not have such a communication system, we have another system, a web-based system, and then we only need to be connected online and have a computer, and we use 40 client endpoint protection for this. We are looking at the possibility to develop another system, what we would call web trans. This would be developed in Casablanca, and that will allow to exchange information nationally. So perhaps if we would add this third means of communication to really leverage data completely. Next slide. So now for the GISC Center for Casablanca, as you know, this is a pilot project, and the role of a regional GISC Center, there are 2 main roles. First, support national efforts to implement GISC, especially OSCAR surface and entry and update of metadata. Second role is supervising and carrying out quality control. So in English, the acronym would be WDQMS. Next slide. So now, with regards to Casablanca, for the metadata part of things, we already have entered the metadata in OSCAR, and we've also put in place an online entry system for metadata. So this is a web-based system that we call BADR that allows us to collect all the metadata nationally. And we have this system that covers all the country for collating data. So either for GISC or for the WIS. Next slide. So you have a graph of the system here. It allows us to carry out monitoring of the various stations. We'll just go quickly over this. This here we've developed with the Ministry of Agriculture or Department of Agriculture. They've given us some automated stations and gave us the mandate to integrate them to the network. So we have a questionnaire, a digital questionnaire, that allows us to have all the information related to these automated stations, all the metadata, the status of the stations, various parameters, but also the exposure of the station that you see on the right. So all this is integrated in the BADR system. So this helps us to know about the equipment and know how to maintain it or renovate it, refurbish it properly. So now for the second role of the regional WIGOS centers, quality control. So we do quality control for the commutation system. This is very much syntaxic. And we also have the servers for collecting data. We carry out, that is, quality control before we input the data in the various systems. We also have a second control for numerical forecasting. So there's 3 types of controls. First one is syntactic again. So according to the standards of WMO, we also have another type of control. This means the temperature, say, of a given station. We control, okay, is this temperature within a certain range, minimal or maximum? If it goes below the minimum or over the maximum, then we know that something is up. And the third thing for a type of quality control is for controlling the various parameters and compare them among themselves. So if we have an observator who says, okay, there's precipitation, but another one saying that there we have clear skies, then we have an issue. So these are the 3 types of quality control measures that we have at our center. And we also do calibrating of our equipment. So this is a regional center. You want to provide to our African colleagues the proper information to calibrate their equipment. So if you need this for barometers, for instance, to do that and to calibrate these, then don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we will definitely help you calibrate these equipments. So there we go. This was our presentation. Thank you very much.
Donc, on a fait le tour des présentations. On avait commencé par les centres.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that we've just had a very nice overview. I do not know whether some of you would like to take the floor at this stage. So don't forget to click on Request to Speak. Everything's clear for everyone? I think that Luis Nunes would like to intervene. I see that Godefroy. So who's speaking now? Who is speaking? Could you introduce yourself, please? Godefroy from ACMAD. Yes, the floor is yours, sir. Thank you very much, Ousmane. I would like to ask a question to our Moroccan colleague. He referred to the possible links between the GISC and the national network. I know that ACMAD would like to be able to get in touch with the GISC of Casablanca, but also to update the dissemination code of ACMAD. So I would like to know what's the procedure so that the ACMAD products may be linked to the GISC in Casablanca. All right. Thank you very much. So how can we make sure that the ACMAT products are linked or available to the GISC in Casablanca? Yes, go ahead. Luis.
Thanks very much. I'm Luis Nunes from the WMO Secretariat from the WIGOS branch. I just wanted to comment on
your connection is, maybe you should shut the video camera. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead. Yeah.
Just wanted to remind everyone that the session tomorrow, we will talk about the WIGOS tools, the WIGOS monitoring system, and the OSCAR surface as part of the mandatory functions for a regional WIGOS center. And towards the end of the session tomorrow, we will discuss how to use the capabilities of Meteo Maroc as a regional WIGOS center in pilot mode to support the countries of the region. So thanks, Haddouch, for this.
Thank you, Luis. It's clear. Thanks for reminding us. Kelenga? Kelenga, you have the floor. Luis, if you can... okay, Kelenga, you have the floor. Kelenga, c'est bon? Kelenga, est-ce que vous m'entendez? Il faut appuyer sur micro on.
Kelenga, can you hear me? Don't forget to switch on your microphone. Kelenga. All right, so maybe we can give the floor back to Mr. Haddouch. Yes, Mr. Hassan Haddouch, if you can answer. Thank you. Thank you very much to ask this very interesting question. As far as the GISC in Casablanca is concerned, we are aware how difficult it is to have this interconnection between countries. So that's the reason why we decided to diversify the way we can connect. And there are three ways, three modes. First of all, the machine-to-machine connection. All you have to do is to send me an email. You give me the name of a contact person, you give me the name of a technician. It's not difficult at all to establish the connection. Then I will be able to get in touch with our telecommunication and network team, and there will be an exchange possible, and it will be possible for them to communicate on WhatsApp also. So this is one way of working for those centers having communication tools. So we can use this modality. There is also another operating way. It is the connection via a PC that has an internet connection, the VPN connection. All you have to do is to have a computer, a PC, a normal one with a normal internet connection. You send me an email and we will give you the necessary information so that you may connect. And the third way, via the extranet, we developed a tool that is using a web-based interface. It is also possible to exchange information there. All right, maybe you could give us your email in the chat. All right, Gaia Jargo. Gaia Jargo, I think that you wanted to take the floor. Gaia Jargo. Good morning. Could you please introduce yourself? My name is Jargo Gaia. I am the head of the meteorological service in the national agency in Chad. I have a question for the gentleman of Ahmad, Leon. In your presentation about data collection and sharing, you mentioned more than 1,235 observation stations, but only 50% do work. So why do we have this situation? Why do we only have half of them working? Oh, Olivier Tamba. Olivier Tamba, you may turn your microphone on. Olivier, if you can hear me. Thank you very much. I have a question to Casablanca. What are your plans in the field of integration? I'm sorry, but there is a very strong echo coming from Olivier. Yes, I'm sorry, Olivier. Maybe you can ask your question in the chat. Then we have Francili Samba. Francili Samba, the floor is yours. Francili Samba. Good morning, Usman. Yes, the floor is yours. Could you please introduce yourself? I would like to ask a question to the gentleman from Casablanca. Yes, could you please introduce yourself and ask your question? Thank you very much for this presentation. And I can see that you are quite advanced in Casablanca, and we face issues and problems. What can we do? What could we do to be linked to your Casablanca WIGISC? So who's next? I think that the gentleman from Ahmad has a question. Bernard.
Bernard Gomez.
Abdoulaye? Could you please answer the question about the 50%? Well, yes, this is what we have observed while performing the monitoring task in some areas in Africa. Thank you very much for raising this question. That's the reason why we put forward this proposal, asking for a collaboration with the WMO, but also with other projects, to see how we can reactivate these stations. Because, well, sometimes the observations are possible, but they are not transmitted, or it is an issue of human capacity that is lacking. So I really believe that this is a key issue, and we would need really to go deeper into this matter. Thank you very much. Good morning, Usman.